packing some orders today. I know you haven't seen me for a little bit due to me being unwell, but I got to get back into things, my loves. It is a new year, and yeah, so I did a sale the other day, and from that I have so many orders to box up and pop together. So I thought, while we're all chatting on here, it's a good opportunity for me, isn't it, just to get all these orders ready. And I know lots of you will come on as I see, so I'll keep you know, clicking on and double checking what's happening on here. And I'm going to reuse a lot of the foam that I've kind of got that we want to pop into these orders, and usually that's honestly what I do. I try and reuse as much as I can, because that's always a good idea. And I just put some foam at the bottom so that it is here. Hello, hello. So yeah, so I'm just literally going to be packing some orders. So, and I'm sorry, I know it's crazy messy behind me, and I do have my little mic, so I hope that is much better. It is warm today. I think it's going to be about 35 degrees Celsius in here, and I do have a few quite big orders to pack up. So I thought I'm going to just pack all these up, and hopefully you guys enjoy and can come and see what I'm doing. So all of the orders that are sitting on the ground, which you can't see, I just have so many of these to try and get out, and I'm like, which order am I up to first? So I did do a massive sale, and on the sale it got a little bit crazy. So now I'm trying to think, should I bring you on this side where we're just going to pack orders, or stay there? So I hope everyone's doing well for the new year, because the new year's a little bit crazy, isn't it, around the world? So it's a bit hard at the moment. So anyway, so this, we're just going to move over here, and I know that it's messy, and please no one judge me. It's messy because I have so many orders to try and get through. So this is the order I'm doing at the moment, and I've got heaps of these boxes, so I'm going to try and put all of these. So I've got an order that has massive amounts of these for a customer. These are all going off to, I think, Queensland. Yeah, so these are definitely going off to Queensland, which will be good. So I'm just trying to see all the things on there, because I'm always trying to, you know, trying to see what's the best way that I can connect with people. And usually, honestly, you know, going on lives, it's kind of easier. So when you see me do a video, I have to do a lot of work to edit that video. Like seriously, so much work to edit videos. No idea how hard it is. Which is fine. I mean, that's just a part of it. And then I actually have the same box. I'm literally going to put it on top. I'm going to cut the box down. There's a tricky way that you can do that. And, you know, when you're sending things like these, which these are room sprays, they're a bit tricky. So we've got to just see what we can actually sort of push in. And you want them like, I mean, honestly, they've got to be super tight in here. And if they're super tight, they won't leak. So we'll just turn these handles around. Hello, everybody. So anyway, crazy. And I'm just literally thinking I might sit those on top, because that will actually protect that. And then we'll actually pop the box together, and we'll pop the second box on. Yeah. And look, if anybody is having a hard time at the moment selling, I will tell you it's actually quite tricky. A lot of people are telling me they're really not selling a lot. Sometimes, though, doing a sale, like a live kind of sale, it can bring people to you as well. And then people might not have looked at you before, but then they go, oh, okay. I'm not telling everyone to sell everything cheap, but if there's something you've got to move on, sometimes you've got to take the cut and yeah, just accept to move on with it, hey? So, like I said, this one's going to Queensland. I have quite a lot of these going off to Queensland. The hardest thing with doing a live sale is trying to figure out the postage. But if you're like me, usually I'll just give them one amount. And sometimes I might take a loss on the postage, but you're getting rid of your items. It's better to get rid of items cheaper if they're getting close to the use by date, or you just want to change your range or something like that. Better to do that than, you know, be the opposite and then you're stuck with something you don't want. So, with this box here, so I'm going to just sort of cut this box down a little bit and, yeah, pop this in. So I hope everyone had a nice Christmas. I hope you enjoyed it. And maybe if you're interested, maybe on this video, maybe I can talk about, which I get asked about this all the time, you know, like my sales for the year, if anyone's interested in that. I wasn't going to do a video just on that. We put those in there, will protect top aprons. But if anyone's interested, I guess we could talk about that while we're packing up these darling orders. So the last year's been like tricky for me. Do you know, it's funny, you think, oh, I haven't really made that much money, and then when you go and look at the figures, you're like, actually, I have done all right. And that was kind of what it was like for me, because I really did think, oh, God, I haven't really done that well. But then, like I said, I looked back and thought, actually, I took okay money the last year. So, and, you know, a lot of people, myself included, we might take a lot more money, not just in sales. It might like also be like social media. And this is why I say you got to do social media, because it really does help. It helps you move forward. It helps you buy products. So for me, you know, social medias like YouTube, which I get paid through. What else? I'm trying to think of all the ones to tell you guys. So yeah, that's going to be on there nice and tight. So sometimes you can do that. So yeah, so if we talk about social media, obviously I make money on, you know, social media, like, and when we say social media, I mean, so I've got YouTube, I've got TikTok, and now it's not like TikTok pay me, but I do the live sales on TikTok, which I've only just started doing. I'm sorry, honey, I didn't see your message. I kind of forgot to look, but let me know, my love, and I promise I will try and look, because I actually don't know how to go back on YouTube and look once they're gone, which is very annoying for me. Whereas, sorry, not TikTok, YouTube. If I'm on TikTok, I know how to go back on the messages, but I'm not kind of sure what these kind of things. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix something. Okay. So it's talking to me about that. So hopefully, anyway, hopefully I can see more messages now, my loves. Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't see them. I tried. I'm not technically brilliant, but I'm sure it's probably one of you lovelies just saying, hi, how you going? That's usually what I do get on here. And so, yeah, so I did do a TikTok live sale, and I was actually shocked. I pretty much sold out of everything. Yeah, so every single room spray I did is gone. So there is none left, and one lady in particular wants more. So I've got to go back to the pop-up shop to see what I've actually got left on the shelf, which isn't much. Most of it's gone. And then in 2025, I'm going to change the products I sell, so not sell as many. I just think I just need to look after my health a little bit more. That one's done anyway. And yeah, I've got to really just think about myself a bit more. And I know we all don't do that. That's the problem, isn't it? Which we should. You know, we need to kind of look after ourselves a little bit more. And I think you know what we all do? We look after the bottom line. We're all kind of thinking of, oh, we need to sell. You know, we need to make money. We do, but, you know, to start with any business, I think it's not about making money. It's about making a brand. Money comes later. All right, now I'm going to turn around so I can hopefully see, but hopefully you can hear me on this. So let me know if you can't, everyone. And I'm sorry I didn't see the last comment, but now I'll stand here a little bit and I'll actually look a little bit to see. So can you hear me, everybody, on here? So hopefully you can hear me on here. And now I'm standing here looking at the messages. And yeah. Yes, you can. Oh, thanks, Tammy, my love. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Tammy, I know you're in the US. I've been watching the American fires. In Australia, it's all over our news. It's huge here. So I'm very sad. Very, very sad and troubling indeed. So please stay safe if you're in the US, near the fires. I know the US is a big country, but still very terrifying for anyone there. Yeah, absolute tragedy, Tammy, yeah. And I think one thing that I thought was a bit silly, though, is that our news here, they're like, first Australian to die. Well, he's not actually Australian. He was born in the UK and only went to school here, but then he's been living in the US, so he's not really Australian. You know, he wasn't even born here, or he only lived here for a very short amount of time. So I wouldn't really. The news loves to say, you know, that one of our, you know, people is there, but it's not really the case at all. A bit silly, really, the way they do these things, isn't it? Try and make out that it's what it is, you know, and it's not that at all. Now, when I'm doing packaging, everybody, I reuse everything. So my family actually bought me a pottery wheel for Christmas. They all put in and bought me one. And it came with like big pieces of this. So I'm literally cutting it up to put it in. Otherwise, I've got to fill my recycling bin up with it, and I don't really want to do that. So it is better that I cut it up, reuse it, and it can go with something else. Yeah, I've seen that, the hydrants with no pressure. It's like, wow. And Tammy, in Australia, a lot of people don't realise, but a lot of our fire departments here are actually run by volunteers. They don't get paid. And there is thousands and thousands and thousands of people that don't get paid. They just volunteer as a community service. And a part of their job is checking things like that. They even check that. So yeah, so volunteers do it. So it's not like they need government funding because they don't get it. It's just like volunteer. So yeah, so I think that's where we're lucky in Australia, is known for our bushfires, because, you know, we're such a hot climate that we do get all those fires all the time. So, but doesn't matter where you are. Anyway, very sad. So. Stay safe, everyone. Don't wait till the last minute. Leave. All Australians know that. You know, have a fire plan no matter where you live in the world, especially in climates that are hot. And yeah, so anyway, it's just the way it is, isn't it? So yeah, so I think today I have 18 orders to try and get out. Oh, you have that too, Tammy. Okay, sure. I wasn't sure whether you had like volunteers in the US or not. I know, I'm pretty sure a lot of Australian firefighters have gone out to the US. I'm pretty sure they all flew out yesterday or the day before. It was on the news here. Oh, both, yeah. Yeah, we have both too, Tammy. We do have like firefighters that are, you know, paid firefighters, and then but we have more volunteers than paid. So, and my stepfather used to be heavily involved in the fire brigade. You know, like, yeah, so anyway, it's one of those things. So now I'm going to get the other orders which I've got on the other side, and I'm going to pop them into these boxes. I'm going to change some boxes over, and honestly, I just reuse as many boxes as I can. I will reuse. So yeah, so this lady bought a whole heap of these as well, which were my shower gels, and they're beautiful, but it just takes so much work to make anything like this, you know, like, yeah, some conditions, yeah. What can you do, Tammy? I mean, it's a natural disaster. That's the problem, you know, like you can't really do much when it's a natural disaster. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, crazy. Anyway, we will get on to doing these ones here, as well as common, yeah. So, anyway, so we're going to do these ones. So I've got this in here. Let me get some other products for this lady, which is going to be soap. I have so much to send out to this customer. I think she's going to have 5 boxes in the end, something crazy like that. But how lucky am I to get these orders, hey? So, and then I actually also do have a whole heap of candles to send out to this same customer, so I might put these in the other box. And look, I reuse so many boxes. If you don't have to pay for a box, don't, just reuse it. And I think, you know, as soap makers, we're kind of in the business of, you know, like trying to reuse, recycle and so on. Yeah. So, and as I said, you know, like this is all just a part of this order. I'm just going to set these on top, and I might end up putting another box over the top of that one for this customer. And then I have another customer that is going to be collecting her items later. So, and I'm going to actually I have to put a little bit of tape or something on the lids of those things, so, because otherwise they leak, which is really annoying. Drives me crazy when that happens. But anyway, that's just the way it is, isn't it? Oh, and I was wondering where they are, but anyway, I've got another box over here. So, these are all going for the same customer. All going to go out. Yep. Yeah, I've seen that, Tammy. Yeah, you've got lots of issues at the moment, don't you guys? So, with everything that's happening. So, like I said, my heart does go out to you in the US. I mean, you know, like I said, Australians are well aware of fires and you know, it's just a common thing in Australia. We're just used to it here. I think we just know it's just a part of living in a fire country, you know. Yeah, you got big issues, Tammy, yeah. Well, I know I was a bit shocked with the president was put back in. I was a bit surprised with that. But obviously people like it, so people only like what they vote for. Not everyone, of course, but, you know. Anyway, it's the way it is, isn't it? Now, I'm just going to pop a little piece of material in the bottom to protect this one a little bit. So when you're sending a parcel out, everyone, don't try and be a cheapskate and just go, I don't want to pay extra. So you're not going to add stuff in to protect it. You really do need to make sure you're putting bubble wrap or, you know, the hexagon paper. That's what I really prefer, the hexagon one, but I've run out. I've got to actually go and buy more. But yeah, so do try and make sure that you're trying to just like really thinking about, you know, packaging. And I mean, look, sometimes packaging does get broken along the way. I mean, it's just the way it is. There's not much we can do about it as long as we try, you know, to send things out as best we can. And sometimes too, if you're sending in your postal service, it's a good idea to try and separate products as well. Yeah, I know, Tammy, I know. It's silly, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, look, politics is one of those things that no one's ever 100% going to agree with, you know. Everyone's always got a different view, you know, on the way things are done, I think. I'm just going to pop some paper in the middle of these, and I'm going to put a little bit of tape on them. And that's the thing too, if you're sending out things like what's it called, you know, like room sprays, bubbles and things like that, often you got to tape them down. The other room sprays, I didn't do that because I've got it super tight, but especially ones that are like what's it called, you know, shower wash and things like that, you just need to tape the tops down. So because often if you don't, they can leak. But anyway, I'm trying my best, my loves, so that I don't have to be crazy and doing everything like that. Anyway, we've done these ones, don't we? And I'm going to just sit that on top because we don't want to break anything. So, yeah. And look, one thing too, I think with soap, I know a lot of people like using the tape that is the paper, the card one, but the one thing I've definitely noticed when you're doing soap products, it's not strong enough. Soap's really heavy, you know, or big candles. So I just think we've got to use some sort of, I don't know, plastic tape or something. I mean, hopefully there's other, you know, avenues to use, but I just think, you know, a lot of it we can't use. So it's not just about, obviously we're being environmentally friendly as much as we can, but at the same time we also need to make sure that the product's getting there in one piece. Yeah, so anyway, a little crazy. We put some bath bombs in the top since I padded this a little bit, because this lady has, I'll show you actually. So this is the little bath bombs, if you can kind of see. They look a bit cool, don't they? And I just noticed a couple don't actually have a label, so I'll have to get the ones with a label instead. We'll swap them over. And this last one, we'll make sure that, you know, it's got its label and everything else on there as well. Oh, Mars is a good businessman. Wow. Yeah, crazy. Politics is something that, well, my mum used to say, it breaks or makes friends. You know, 100% I agree with that, that's for sure. Actually, I'm thinking maybe they're safer if I kind of line them up this way, because then they will be a little bit more protected together so that I can put them, because this order has a few bath bombs in it. So we will try our best, won't we? Anyway, I'm going to pack it really tight at the top here, around these ones here, and that little candle can just go in there. I know that is a candle in that one. Yeah, you agree, Tammy. So, yeah, and I'll tell you, everyone, how I actually did this. And I'm sorry, I'm not near the camera right now, so I can't see comments just for a minute, because I actually have to try and find some things over this side. And I'm sure I had some little boxes which my candle jars are come in, which I do. I've got some here. They actually don't come in these, but so you can buy plain ones, and I actually got these from, I think it was Aussie Candle Supplies. They're actually the boxes for the tins, but they fit my pottery containers in them really well. Move that out the way. And I do have another video coming. It's actually loading at the moment. I've edited it now. And that one is actually how we made some drawers onto these IKEA cabinets. So we didn't buy the IKEA drawers. We actually made them. which was a little exciting. My husband designed them, and so I've got a video coming out on that. I've got a video coming out also on a new soap that I made, and this soap is beautiful with calendula petals that I put inside the soap because they don't go brown. Yeah, so quite a few things, you know. And that one is only 85% olive oil soap. So, you know, not cheap to make, of course, because olive oil is crazy ridiculous. We all know that. But so is cocoa butter and so is shea. So at the moment, there's nothing cheap in making soap products. And I'm really excited with my pottery that's working. So if you actually want to watch my journey with the pottery as well, go over there and see me. So I've actually opened a second YouTube channel. So on that one there, it's called Rhonda Jane Pottery. So that's all you got to look up is Rhonda Jane Pottery, and come and visit me over there. And, you know, I thought it would be actually really good. Eggs here are $5 for 12. Oh, well, in here, what am I paying at the moment? Because I don't buy caged eggs because I think that's mean to animals. So I only buy barn-laid ones. And they have gone up to $13 for 12 at the moment now. AU dollars, so crazy, ridiculous. I don't know how they think people can afford to even eat anymore. And like we spend about $400 a week on food, so yeah, so just silly, isn't it? But anyway, oh, we live in a crazy world, my loves. We really do. Yeah, crazy, Tammy. Crazy. So obviously if you want to, you know, have something more like a barn-laid one, you've got to think of it, you know. But actually one of my daughters has moved out further to the country, like she's another 40 minutes from me further again. And there's actually, it's like a chicken farm. Olive oil costs $42. Well, so in Australia, what am I paying at the moment? $42 AU. Is it no? Actually, no. Sorry, I lied. It's $50 AU for three. I think it's 3 litres of olive oil. So that's outrageous. But cocoa butter is $1,000. Or around about 1,000, I think, for the same container I was buying for $700 2 years ago. So that's a massive jump. Hello, how you going, Samantha, my love? I'm doing super well, darling. I'm getting better. So as you know, lots of people know that I have cancer now, which is a bummer. But what can I do, you know? Just the way it is. But luckily they caught it early. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to the conference in Queensland. So make sure you share the conference, everyone. We need to get people there. I can't run a conference with no people. Yeah, Nikki, it's one of those things, darling, isn't it? What can we do? Anyway, and as you all know, my beautiful dad died of cancer, and usually it's in the genes, you know, so just the way it is. I'm reusing all of this, everyone. I did say that before, but for anyone that's just logged on, that way, you know, you make sure your parcels get there on time. Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm a little fighter, everybody. And look, when they first told me I had cancer, I actually didn't believe it. I thought, well, I don't really feel that ill. Like I was ill, but, and it's kind of like, I'll turn around if you can see it on my back, the surgery that I've had. You switch to sunflower oil, yeah. And look, I totally understand that, but for me, people buy my soap because it's olive oil. So, and I've kind of branded it that way. So I think it depends on branding. Of course, I could change it, you know, but I'm just like, I just don't want to change the whole recipe and everything else that people know me for. And I do sell wholesale. But if you just sold at a market, 100% you could change to a cheaper oil. You know, but if you sell wholesale, they usually won't want changes like that. But you know, I guess you could tell them, well, either you can change the oil or they can pay more money, and usually people are a little cheap and they don't want to pay more money. So usually they'll go, okay, I agree, we won't do anything else. So, yeah, so we've done the next box to go to Queensland. I have a few to go to Western Australia. They're all different states from me, anyone that's in the US watching at the moment. Yeah, so, that's what I was saying before. So if you want to come over and join my pottery YouTube, and really it's just about me actually making the pots that I'm going to be using for candle jars, and I'll be making some things that I can incorporate into a soap business. So I won't have a new website for it or anything like that. Those products will be available on Nelson Soapery. Yeah. Yeah, success is a hard thing, Tammy. I'm telling you. It took me a long time, years, before I even got orders. And I can remember when I first opened my Shopify site, this is the truth, I did not get orders on Shopify for about 8 months. I think I got one, it took me 8 months to get one order. So when people say to me often, oh, you're so lucky, you know, you've to have all these orders, I always tell them, remember, I was just like you at the start. I didn't have any orders, you know, and at the start I didn't have Shopify either. The humidity, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Humidity is very tricky for soap, but a lot of people ask me about the humidity. Like if it's hot in Australia, so I live in Victoria, so we don't really have massive humidity. That's really once you go up to the top of Australia in Queensland. But still, you know, I still have to be really careful here. So if it's going to be hot, I just honestly generally just don't make anything. In soap, I mean. So you kind of got to be a little bit cautious when you're going to make it or how it's going to work. So if it's super hot, don't stress yourself out, everyone. It's not worth it. All right, we've done that. Now I will stick this again. Because there'd be nothing worse than this getting halfway there and then collapsing, and then I've lost all my money, because then people won't be happy and they want a refund. And they're entitled to get one if you don't send it properly. If you don't send a parcel properly, well, it's kind of on you, I guess, isn't it? So, tricky. And my postal man said to me, if you do not package your parcel properly, even when you pay for insurance, they don't have to pay out if the parcel's not done correctly. Like if you just use tissue paper or something, they'll just say no, that parcel isn't good enough. So usually I'll put a wrap around this as well. Yeah, so a little crazy. So anyway, we have done the second one. These are both going to be very heavy. And I did have a much larger box to put them in, but then I thought I can't put them in the larger box because that will cost more money to send. So it's better to put them in a smaller one, because it's actually, so when you do a box like this is like 28 centimetres by 28. If I did one that was 40 by 40, then the cost of that will be much, much more, because the weight will be huge. So even these parcels to this lady is probably going to cost me $100 in freight. But you just got to do it, unfortunately. And, you know, you've got to charge more money. So even if somebody buys one soap in Australia, you can't just send it in a cheap parcel. It's still going to cost you more than $10 just to send one bar of soap. I've been asked a lot, you know, like, oh, we know, why is it so expensive? And I'm just like, it's just what it is. Unfortunately, sending parcels is no cheap thing, and anyone that does it will know. Yeah, so I think I said before, but these ones that I'm doing now, these were all through TikTok sales. So yeah, I did quite a few TikTok sales, and then that's why these have been super busy. yeah, so a little bit crazy, everyone, but it is, you know, the weather is a little bit crazy today, and we'll see how it's going to go, won't we? Now, I do have some more orders over on the other side that I have to package up. So I'm going to have to just think of how I'm going to package these up. I might actually have to even go to my shop to get more bubble wrap and things like that, because I'm kind of running really, really low on it. But I do have quite a few. Let me see what I've got in here. So, yeah, look, shipping is really, really tricky. So I've got these that have been bought by somebody. So I've got enough bubble wrap in the bottom to protect these. And if you're in Australia too, you have to be careful on the time of year. So you don't want to be putting things like wax melts on their side. You want to have them flat up. Because if they're on their side, it's very, very tricky. They can be horrible. Now let me show you these that I've just made. Aren't these cute? Hope you like them. They're actually gemstones, so it will tell you. So this one says moonstone and all about it. And then I've got my other one, which is here. I'll show you this one, the jade stone. So I love them. Anyway, I've just finished making those a little while ago, but yeah, they're going to be very, very popular, I'm sure. Yeah, they're so cute. I love them. I told my husband I'm stealing one for myself, you know. Yeah, so anyway, it's just the way it is, isn't it, lovelies? So I have done this. Now, what am I going to do next? Oh, that's right. I want to actually get some cardboard. So if you ever cut any pieces off, keep them. And I'll show you what I do. So we've got this box here, which is like this. And sometimes these stickers, if things rub against them at the post, they can be scratched. A lot of stickers. So if you put something like that on top, they can't be scratched. So that's what I'm going to do for these ones, because I do have some candles still, like these little darlings, that I'm going to send out. And also, that's what I'm changing as well. Some of my candles, what I'm actually going to do is I'm only going to do ones that don't have vanilla, because the vanilla just ruins the candle colour. And I know that, you know, people love vanilla, they do, but I've just never found one that doesn't discolour or turn the candle yellow and ugly. I mean, the only one years ago, I used to use one called Salted Caramel from Aroma, which was really good, but Aroma, they've sort of, I don't know what they changed. I went to like a third packing company, and anyway, it hasn't gone very smooth, so I don't buy from them at all anymore. So, yeah. Oh, so also I did say, didn't I, that I was going to give you a bit of a rundown on my figures for the last year, which I did start writing them down. So I think all up, I took roughly about 85,000 last year AU, so I was very happy with that number. And the year before, I think, was only 50. So, and considering it hasn't been a strong year, I was actually really excited with those numbers. To me, they were really good numbers. And, you know, look, I have to work super hard to get those numbers, so it's not like it comes easy. And you see me, even like, when I was at the doctor's surgery with being diagnosed with this cancer, I said to him, all I'm worried about is everything else. Yeah, it is amazing, lovely. And I said to my doctor, oh, what am I going to do with my job? Like, people depend on me. And he was laughing. He thought it was funny. And I said, no, I'm actually serious. Yeah, it was so cool, Nikki. I was so excited. So hopefully maybe I'll even get good enough to be 100,000 next year. And now, when we talk about those figures include like the conference. So like, and that doesn't mean I'm taking that amount. Remember that. So, so when we say those numbers, like I said, it means, so I'm doing two things at once. So I'm being like a typical dad that can't think twice, you know. Yeah, so those numbers include Patreon, making money on Patreon. It also includes the money I'm making on YouTube, selling products, wholesale, and the conference. So, you know, and of course I didn't include like the TikTok sale and that I've just done because that was a bit different. But yeah, so anyway, so, you know, and that's the thing. I don't sort of say these things to be a big noter about money. I try and do it so that people realize that you can do it. I mean, it's just me here making things. I don't have employees or anything. So you can do it. It just really does take a lot of time and effort. You know, if you don't have somebody else helping, it just, yeah, the time and effort is just a little bit crazy, isn't it? But anyway, still incredibly impressive, Nikki. Yeah, that's right, Nikki. And you know what? The one thing that I'll say too is that is with no paid advertising. I don't pay for advertising. I can't afford that, seriously. Paid advertising to me is just ridiculous, you know. The cost, I mean, look, if you've got money to do it, 100% I'd say do it. But, you know, if you're struggling and you want boxes and things like that, well, something's got to give, doesn't it? So, you know, just think about it. Yeah, all the teachers saying you need a passive income, 100%. And this is the thing, you can have a bit of a side flick. You know, this for me is just a little side hustle that I started, and then it turned into a business. My daughter Emily as well, which lots of you know her, she has an earring company. She probably earns about $150,000 a year now, selling earrings at markets. So there is so much that you can actually do, and you can, you know, earn more money, but it just, like, you kind of have to find out how you're going to do it. So yeah, it's not as simple as going, I'm just going to sell something, put it on a website and they're going to buy it, because people just don't come to your website. If you just do that, they really are not going to do that at all. So, you know, it takes a lot of time. And if you do things like I do on social media, what actually happens is it just drives a lot of people to your social media. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy lovely. And she, you know, and she just started making earrings on her bed. Now she does more than earrings. She does have commercial machines that she's bought. So she has a commercial laser cutting machine. She's just bought a huge 3D printer. I don't know what she's going to be making with that. And what else does she, like, she has lots of machines and things. Oh, she has 2 t-shirt heat presses, professional ones. So, you know, she does lots of things, from doing t-shirt printing to doing bookmarks, acrylic cutting, all of those things. So, and then of course she tried in a pop-up shop and so on. So she earns very, very good money, you know, in it. But, you know, it didn't happen for her straight away. Really, honestly, did take a really long time. And that's what I like people to understand, that it's not going to happen in 5 seconds. Because I've had people saying they've left their job, now they need a job to make money. And I just say, wow, this is going to be a hard run then. Because that's tricky, you know, to do it like that. But we just got to try, don't we? Yeah. Anyway, I think you've heard enough of my annoying voice for some time. So I hope you have an amazing Sunday. It is Sunday here, or Saturday night if you're in the US. And I'm going to see you on the next one. But you will see my soap video coming up really soon. It is loading as we're talking to YouTube. And yeah, that one will come out. And then after that, we will have one with the new cabinets that we've put into the little shop in here, and we'll go from there. But make sure you go over and join me on my other YouTube channel, which is it's a hobby channel about me making pottery and making jars for candles and so on. And that one is Rhonda Jane Pottery. So just go over there, which is on YouTube, and you can follow me on Insta and Pinterest on that. I'm not going on Facebook with that one because it's just a hobby one, and there'll be no website. You'll be able to buy the products back at Interior Soapery for that. But just look up Rhonda Jane Pottery and follow me on there, my loves. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye.